Hey everybody, spiritual whistleblower here with another video on narcissistic abuse. As always, enjoy stirring up conversations that no one else will talk about in this community. And as I'm leveling up and as my channel is evolving and God has placed it on my heart and soul and my mind, to share the things that I, you know, analyze and think about, share it with you all, the things that I observe. And when I say observe, I mean I observe these things from a spiritual standpoint. Like my third eye is open. So I've been in this community for about 4 years, and I definitely can see my growth and elevation from the very first time. When I first got on here, I mean, a lot of these YouTube content creators who I was very big fans of, I followed their content. I really, because it sound good. And I was going through my own things at the time. And plus they had a large following, especially the male life coach YouTube content creators that are supposed to be narcissistic abuse experts in this community. But over the years, the last 4 years, as my knowledge grew deeper, and not only did my knowledge grow deeper, I think what happened, I got rid of my last relationship. My last relationship was with a childhood friend who had put his hands on me and abused me. And because normally I wasn't going to be in no relationship, I was busy building my life. I was successful. I was doing seminars, writing books, and I trusted him because he's a childhood friend. Otherwise, I wasn't going to date anybody. But that last relationship was the lesson to teach me. It was like the final straw, because the deception and betrayal was so great, because I trusted him from my past. Like, it really taught me a lesson. You can't trust anybody. You cannot trust anybody, and you should never deal with or date anybody from your past. People from your past should stay in the past, because one thing I know about narcissists is that they recycle their exes, they recycle family members, because they don't have the ability to grow or evolve. They always gotta, when they run out of supply, they gotta tap in to people they've already dealt with. And that was the missing puzzle in my life. I had been through all types of narcissistic abuse, but the final straw was me allowing someone from my past to come back into my life. I will never do that again. So at that point, through my own experiences with narcissistic abuse, and I was watching other YouTube content creators from a fan standpoint. I was a subscriber, I was a fan. I really wasn't looking to build my channel up like that. I was learning, and I was going through my own life experiences. And then the greatest thing happened. When I ended my last relationship in 2019, I got really close to God. I got really close to God. I understood the assignment. I said, I get it now, God. We have to go through these relationships to deal with our childhood issues, which I did. I cut my parents off many years ago. They stalk me obsessively. I don't care, as long as they stay on their side of the fence. They're fully aware I have a big YouTube channel. I'm known around the world. I travel everywhere. They know that. They now know to respect my boundaries, because, I had to resort to violence and being aggressive with them in order to get them to stop, and threatening to throw them in jail. And they've stopped it. My family backs off now. I got really close to God. And what happened when I started to evolve, my channel started growing. I started evolving. I learned the final lesson from my last relationship. I finally grasped the concept of what narcissistic abuse was, why I was targeted, how my family, my parents, trained me and groomed me, how I broke free from that, how I healed from my childhood wounds, my childhood trauma, how I stopped dealing with men in order to be celibate and focus on myself, erasing every distraction from my life so that I could be close to God. And then God started blessing me in miraculous ways. And now I'm leveling up. So where does that leave the YouTube community? I started unsubscribing to the very same channels that I was first watching. When I first entered this community, I was watching a lot of YouTube creators who specialize in narcissistic abuse, learning from them, and connecting my personal experiences to their teachings. But as my discernment and as my relationship with God started growing and getting very strong, God did something amazing to me. And this is what I want to teach y'all. This is how you know you are getting closer and closer to healing. I don't think anyone will ever be 100% fully healed from narcissistic abuse. I mean, this is why I say if anyone in this community tries to shut you up and say, you know what, you need to go sit down and heal, you got unresolved trauma, that is all a bully tactic to silence you because they're uncomfortable that you're speaking out against their behavior. I mean, we look at Dr. Ramani. Dr. Ramani is a licensed celebrity psychologist. Okay. We all know Dr. Ramani is major. I love her to death. In one of her interviews, she broke down and cried. That's how huge of an impact narcissistic abuse is. It's bad when a psychologist breaks down and cries in the middle of her interview. So are we to attack Dr. Ramani? And are we to say, you know what, Dr. Ramani, we know that you're a psychologist, but you know what? You're not fully healed. You need to go sit down in a corner and go heal. No, only toxic people talk like that. I'm telling y'all, when you hear somebody tell somebody you need to go sit down and heal, you're all loud on your channel. You're always projecting on your channel. Go sit down and heal. That is a red flag that individual is a narcissist that is pissed off that you are calling out their behavior. Dr. Ramani obviously is affected. She cried. And as a licensed celebrity psychologist who is she's skilled. She knows her shit. She is excellent. She has the credentials to speak on narc abuse, and yet and still we watched her break down and cry. So where are all the toxic people at? Go ahead and say, Dr. Ramani, go sit down and heal because you're obviously not healed. No, you shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. That is something that takes place in this community. And whenever I see, there are psychologists that are narcissistic that sat in this community and said the very thing. You need to go heal. They threw subliminals and said, you need to go heal. That's a red flag. Tell Dr. Ramani to go heal the next time she cries in her interview. What happened? As I got closer to God, I stopped dating. I stopped allowing men to distract me from my purpose. I am now walking in my purpose. I know my calling. I know why I went through all the traumatic experiences. Everything makes sense. The bullying, the attacks, my entire life, from my mother beating the crap out of me, trying to destroy my pretty face, putting a scar here, allowing her husband to molest me and get away with it. My father's own misogynistic behavior and how he abused me, even though he didn't put his hands on me. I was bullied in high school. I was bullied in college. Everyone from my past is dead and gone. I literally cut all my high school friends off. I cut all my college friends off. Family I got rid of. yes, it was scary at a point because you end up being alone, you end up being isolated. But how else can you get close to God? How else are you going to learn what your purpose and calling is if you do not isolate, if you do not cut off all the distractions, your family, old friends, old acquaintances, all your exes? Everyone must go in order for you to open up your spiritual eye, in order for you to have a spiritual awakening. So what happened as God elevated my level of understanding, as God opened up my third eye, my spiritual lens, I started looking at these YouTube content creators from a spiritual aspect. And what I saw was, oh my God, I have been following this one and this one and this one, and they're the devil, they're demons in disguise. Ever since God opened my spiritual eye, I can see who the demons are in this community. I was guilty for following them. I was. Their channels, they are pressed. They pressure people to donate to their super chats. We are already victims, survivors of narc abuse. Why are you pressuring us to donate? If you're a top-notch YouTube creator and you know your shit, people will give you their money willingly. People will just, I've had donations. People donate to me privately through PayPal, unexpected donations. And they'll leave a message like, you're such a blessing. Please take this money. I don't go around pressuring people for donations. I disabled my live chat over 2 years ago because I said, you know what? I want people to love me. I want people to donate to me genuinely, not because I have to pressure them. So what I started learning from a spiritual lens is that we have a lot of psychopaths. And I didn't say narcissists. I didn't say sociopath. I said psychopaths as YouTube content creators posing as narcissistic abuse experts. There are more male psychopaths in this community than there's both. There's female psychopaths. Oh, trust and believe. But there are way more male psychopaths. And why are there male psychopaths? Because a woman's broken heart is the quickest way to get rich. They are capitalizing off of our suffering and pain. Okay? A psychopath is so skilled at disguising his narcissism that he can charm the pants off his female audience. He's charming he has bedroom eyes. A lot of them use their eyes. Their eyes are hypnotic and mesmerizing. Their voices are soothing and calm and charming. But a lot of y'all will not do the history. A lot of y'all don't know that a lot of them have domestic violence backgrounds. They have put their hands on women or harassed women and they're hiding it. A lot of them have criminal backgrounds. And then there are others that have a background in law enforcement. Law enforcement, meaning cops, military. And when I hear cop or military, I automatically psychopath, no emotion, no empathy. We got them in this community right now, and they're so skilled. They're dangerous. Psychopaths are very dangerous because they know how to pose as an empath. They study people. You know, the sociopaths are the idiots, the histrionics, the borderlines are the idiots. They always expose and give themselves away. The psychopaths are the more conniving ones. The psychopaths, you know, if I were to say someone's name and call them out in my video, they would ignore me because they know if they respond or expose themselves, you know what I mean? So they're really intelligent. And they have a high IQ and they're very dangerous. And you will not know that they're psychopaths unless your spiritual eye is open. There are a lot of male life coaches in this fucking community that have put their hands on women. There are male life coaches in this community who are deadbeat dads. There are male life coaches that have a military background and law enforcement who are psychopaths. And because women are so mesmerized by their good looks and their bedroom eyes, their dreamy eyes, and them licking their lips, you don't take the time out to do the history on their background. And this is why you ended up getting in a relationship with an abusive man. You jumped from one frying pan into the next. Now you're getting milked for your money by these dangerous psychopaths posing as life coaches. Ladies, I want you to do better. I want you to raise your discernment. I want you to get close to God, because God wants to show you who these psychopaths are. And they've been pimping us for years. Their content is recycled, it's regurgitated, it's surface level. Most of them are atheists. You'll never hear about them talking about their childhood trauma. You'll never hear about them talking about their mother or father. They hide their past, they hide their background, they hide their history of relationships. They might talk about one female relationship that did them bad. They play victim. But you'll never hear them share about their upbringing or their relationship with their mothers. They owe us that. How do you want people to cough up their money to your super chat, but you haven't built any trust? We don't know anything about you. You're not transparent. You write a book and you put surface level information in there, but you don't put enough for people to really know who you are, your background, your upbringing. Women deserve that. They are pimping the fuck out of women in this community. And I pray, especially my black women, because a black woman's broken heart is a money bag. It's a money bag to these abusers. They're psychopaths. They've mastered the art of pimping the black woman's heart and her pocketbook. But women in general, you need to get closer to God. You need to stop having sex. You need to stay celibate. You need to find your purpose and calling, because I promise you, the closer you get to God, the more your third eye will open and you will see things from a spiritual lens. There are too many demons hiding behind their platforms, taking our money, talking that smooth talk, licking their lips, and hypnotizing women with their eyes. They have bedroom eyes, but they have a dead stare. They have that narcissistic stare. They're empty. They're not spiritual. They're atheists. They're disconnected. They're hiding their domestic violence backgrounds. They're hiding the fact that they're deadbeat fathers. They're hiding their background in military and law enforcement. They don't want us to figure them out. But I have. And I pray that you figure it out too. I love you all. And I pray total inner peace over your life. Because when God shows you things, everything will be clear. Everything. And there are female psychopaths in this community too, pimping the black woman. These women are pick-meshas, they're pick-me's. They've had super chats. They've shared their super chat and their channels with abusive men. Yeah, they don't care about us either. They're pimping us just like these men are pimping us. Open your third eye, get close to God, let him open your spiritual eye, and stop following these pastors and ministers. They're demons. They're covert narcissists. They're psychopaths. The pastor is nothing more than a cult leader, pimping you out for your money. He's enjoying your pain and suffering. The woman's broken heart is the biggest hustle. Wake up, ladies, please. There are too many psychopaths with YouTube channels in this community. And they know that I know. Because I don't look at them as regular people. My spiritual eye looks at them as demons. They're demonic. They're demons. I want y'all to have a blessed night. Please, let's discuss this in our comment section.